I've been doing a few tutorials on how to do time lapses, hyperlapses, and some drone videos. And I mentioned in the course of that I'm also a stock video creator, and I do that on a platform called Black Box Global. What I'd like to do, and I'd appreciate any feedback you have, is start going into a little bit more about how I do stock video. Okay, this is my Black Box account, and you can see the sales I've had since the beginning of this year, but let's go back. Let's go back to when I first started, which was in the beginning of 2018. And I had at the time zero experience, very little equipment, and but I just wanted to try it and get into it a little bit, and so I gave it a shot. And I think that that's one of the things that anybody can do if you want to do it. And you're not expecting immediate success, but willing to work hard at it, then you can do it. So I started out probably, it might have been in January or February, but it took me about 300 clips, and understand that I was a beginner. So they probably weren't 300 very good clips, but 300 clips before I got a sale. Next month, no sales. And then I started getting regular sales. I probably had 400 or 500 clips into here, and they're probably getting better. I should go back and look. But the bottom line is that I started with no experience. Then in 2019, I started to collaborate with other black boxers, and sales. I only had 1 month where I didn't have any sales. Other than that, my lowest month was $36, almost $37 here. I did have one good month with 267 sales, and but I had a diverse catalog now. I had more types of clips from more places around the world, working with more people. I started doing curation for others, and that just continued into 2020 and 2021. So here in 2020, my lowest my lowest month was 210, and my highest month was 411. And you can see when you get to this point, of course, you can start to count on the money, so that if you're wanting to buy a camera, you can kind of project when you're going to be able to buy the whatever it is that you want to buy, a new tripod or a field monitor or whatever. And I started building up my equipment and becoming more professional, more experienced. Plus, as I was working with other creators, all of whom had better talent, more talent than I had, and more experience than I had, then I started to get a vision of how it should be done, and my own stuff started to be better. So now you look at 2021, and here's where we are so far this year. So it's the 7th of August, and I'm at $74, and my lowest month, 261. My highest month was 571. So you can see again, there's some constant sales here. And depending on who you are and where you live and what your economy is like, this may be nothing to you, but it also could be quite significant. Some of the people I collaborate with live in countries where this is good money. If you're I don't want to pick out a specific country or a specific economy, but this type of currency, hard currency, month after month, can be significant for you. To me, it wasn't so much about money. It's about seeing that my work as a creator is valued by somebody else, somebody who values it enough that they will pay for it and buy it. And that, to me, that is a thrill. It's also a thrill to be working with other people and in many cases enabling them. Maybe they don't speak English good enough to do the curation, and this would not be something that they can do, but because I can assist them, partner with them, then their stuff sells because it's properly keyworded and described and titled. I'll jump over here to earnings just to give you a flavor of what type of stuff sells, but the thing that you get out of this really is that diversity sells. This is something that sells over and over again. You wouldn't think that it would just by looking at it. It's a Jeep driving down through the desert from the point of view of the driver. But this sells over and over. This is Tristen Turner, one of my partners, somebody that I've grown to really appreciate, learned a lot from him, and we talk almost daily. I've never met him in person. He lives in California City in the middle of the Mojave Desert wilderness. And because that's inaccessible to me, or at least not regularly accessible to me, it diversifies, my catalog, so to speak. And you can see here, I'm the curator, so I'm getting 20% when this sells. This is another one from Tristen. Again, the Mojave Desert time lapse. This is from a friend of mine in Thailand. Very, very good conceptual filmmaker. He picks a concept and he really goes after it. This is, of course, like as if somebody was breaking into a storage locker area. This is my wife. You need all kinds of actors or models, and mature couples, which is what my wife and I are selling now. Okay, this one is near, in fact, my house is just right below this. But this area, Silicon Slopes it's called, in Utah, is a big new industrial area. In fact, Adobe is this building right here. If you can see where my little arrow is, that's the Adobe building. And all of these are high-tech companies that are moving into Utah for tax considerations. So I imagine somebody probably bought this to put on their recruiting website or who knows what. Over here you can see how much things sold for. So keep in mind that a lot of times this is the percentage that I'm getting. When you see this number, $26, then that's something that probably I did. 100% goes to me. So this one is mine. This one is mine. This is a fisherman or maybe a water taxi in the Nile in Cairo. This is something that sells a lot. Now here's the thing. You got to do all kinds. You got to do some. This is an example of commercial, for example, where I have the model release, I've got the property release, mature woman doing exercises in the morning, something like that. And I've got all the releases for that. But here's something where I have no releases, and that's okay because it's editorial, and I can, I'll explain the difference in the course of doing some tutorials for you. But understanding the difference of editorial and commercial is important, and then how you market them is equally important. This is another type of editorial thing that I sell a lot. This one might, I do a lot of work in refugee camps in Iraq and around the Middle East. This one says it has no people in it. I probably did do it as commercial. This is in a refugee camp, and I probably just pulled out my iPhone and held it as steady as I could. But because I have access to places that other people don't have access to, this type of thing sells a lot. Similarly, this is a Yazidi woman in Kurdistan spinning some wool. This is again just with my iPhone, and this is going to be editorial because I didn't have model or property releases for any of this. The diversity is what you really should get out of this, but we'll go into detail in the course of this and how to get started, how to be a curator, how to be a videographer, and do these 10-second clips, what the best kind of clips are and how long they should be and how you should process them. So we'll get through all that, and I'll have experts on the channel too. Tristen is going to be on the channel. We'll get other people. You listening to this may have something to add, and if you do, contact me and and let's talk about it and see about you being a guest on the channel. So that's what we're looking at as we go forward. And of course, I'll continue to do the types of things that I've done in the past, which is, of course, my passion, which is time lapses, hyperlapses, nature, birds. I love filming birds. So we'll do all those types of things, and give you examples and get you started. Keep in mind that this is from the point of view of a person who started out with no experience, very little equipment, and that, to me, that's proof that it can be done by anybody. All you need to do is keep at it. Stay with me. Watch for more videos coming, and any recommendations that you have, I would appreciate. If you're going to subscribe, please drop me a note so that I can welcome you. Thank you for watching.